Yesterday, I did a video in which I said there were two major investments in your life that I thought were extremely important. The first one is that of your home. Buy a home as quick as you can. Contrary to what some people believe, it is an investment. It is an investment in your future because if you go into retirement and you're still renting, you don't have a future, okay? The second I said was a Roth IRA, and I directed you towards Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and now I'm adding Meta. And I said if you would have started a Roth IRA in 2004 and invested in the four stocks, you'd have somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 million today. So I decided, well, what would you have done before 2004? And I said, is there a cycle of innovation that drives stocks, and how do they then perform when that innovation has matured? So what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to go back to post-World War II. That's when I was born in 1944. The war ended, I guess, in 45. And I said, who were the best performing stocks going from 1968, actually, through 2000? And here's what I came up with. GE went from $4.03 to $229 for a 5,582% return. That was the best one. The second best one was Procter & Gamble. It went from $1.50 to $39. Then what I said, if you look further to the right, was okay, so through 2000, we have a low of IBM at 440 and a high of GE of 5,582. How did they then do as we moved into the digital revolution? And as you can see, GE actually dropped 28%. Procter & Gamble continued to grow at 354%. And DD is DuPont. It's grown 52% over, what is that, a 24-year period of time. So that kind of tells me that innovation has a life expectancy. So you have to keep that in mind. So then I went and said, okay, let's look at the tech era. And I came up with Cisco, Intel, Amgen, and Biogen. And you can see the outstanding growth leader was that of Intel. From 1972 to 2000, it went from 5 cents a share to $75 a share. That's 157,795% growth in since 72 through 2000. Now we all know what then happened. It was at $75 in 2000. It's at $18.78. So it lost 75% of its value. Let's learn from that. Cisco, on the other hand, came in at a kind of a second place at 25,233% growth. And then its growth from 2000 to the next 24 years is only 28%. That's just a little over 1% per year Cisco grew. And it was the second largest growth engine. Then the other two are medical. Amgen grew by 17,327 and Biogen by 2,800. Amgen kept up a fair pace at 1,137. The other thing that stuck out at me is in the post-war era, the biggest growth was 5,582%. That compares to the tech era of 157,000. That's an enormous difference of the growth potential, and that's followed by Cisco, which had 25,000. So what I read from that is the growth numbers are bigger, but they're exponentially bigger, so that in the current market, growth is growing at a faster rate than it has in the post-war. And then now let's look up into the current internet. Oh, I must also indicate that I looked at Oracle. Oracle actually started in somewhere around 1986. Started at 6 cents, grew to 29. That's a 48,000 growth. And then from 2020 through 2024, it's grown at a rate of about 440%. Not as good as Amgen, in a similar period of time. Then I give you what I gave you yesterday, and that is the growth of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta. And you can see the leader in that was Apple. But I question, Apple just came out with its new iPhone, which was something of a disappointment. And I looked at that and I said, okay, Apple has grown since 2000, in the last 24 years, by 30,000. Are they another Cisco? Have they lost their edge? I don't see them buying all the GPUs that Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta are buying. Are they another Cisco? And what I'm referring to was a 25,000% growth from 90 through 2000. Yeah, from 1990 through 2000, and then a 28% growth from 2000 through 2024. Is Apple another Cisco? That's something we've got to watch. And this is, I think, the real value of this kind of research. It isn't going to give us any definite answers, but it causes us to ask questions. Okay, and so we see here in the past 24 years, the outstanding growth engine is that of Apple, and that's followed by Amazon. And again, I emphasize that Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Meta are the biggest buyers of NVIDIA's GPU chips. And what does that mean? That means they are betting on the AI revolution. They are saying, we believe that the future is going to be built around not only the data that we own in the silos of data, but the ability to process and deliver that data to the consumer is our future. Now, what I think is also exciting is we look at Google. Google has only grown at a rate of 464%. And Meta at 1,700. And these are two of the companies that are making some of the biggest investments in GPUs and data centers and data processing and compute, and are betting that you and I are willing to pay $19.99 to maybe $59.99 a month to deliver AI and machine learning to us to change our lives. Now, some of us won't pay $9.99 because it really doesn't fit into our life and we don't see how it works. I personally would be happy to pay $59.99 to have access to all the data I need for my business to grow. But I have a business. I'd probably be willing to pay $599 to have access to all the data so that I could this to put all this together took me about 4 hours. What if all I had to do was ask Samantha, give me the best performing post-war stocks, then the best tech stocks, and then the best internet stocks, and compare them for me, and Samantha made this chart. Now I could say, okay, based on what you know of what each of these companies are going to do, tell me who are going to be the best performing stocks over the next 20 years or 10 years or 5 years. If Samantha could do that for me, would I be willing to pay anybody, $500 a month? Oh, hell yes, I would. I can make more than that through my investments. And I can sell that knowledge. That's exactly what Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta have made the decisions. We can sell that knowledge from all the data in the world, not only to Kerry and financial, but what about the medical world? What about every element of the advertising world? If you can process all the data that has been accumulated in the history of mankind and then ask it a question and get a sound good answer, That's what you're going to come up with. That's how I came up with these stocks. I went to Meta AI and I said, give me the best performing stocks from 1944 through 1964 and progressed every 20 years. And Samantha broke it down for me. Then I just went in and created the parameters that I'm presenting to you there here in this chart. Now, the other thing I thought was interesting was, okay, take all this information in this chart and give me the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 performers. And what I came up with is the number one performer is Intel. If it gave me 157,795% from 1972 through 2000. Now it's gave me a loss. The second best performer was Oracle from 1986 through 2000, 48,233%. From 2000 to 2024, 44%. Then the next best performer was Apple. Okay, and that was its performance from 2000 to 2024. The next best performer was Cisco, but that was in its growth through 1990 through 2000, but has been disappointing in that in the last 24 years, it has grown 28%, or just over 1% per year. So this and then the next the fifth best performer was Amazon at 10,471% from 1990. Let's see, when was Amazon? From 2000 through 2024. I think there's a tremendous amount of knowledge to be drawn from this. What I would suggest you do is stop the computer with this chart up and push print screen and then print this so that you can digest it, so that you can learn from it, so that you can say, okay, just because Apple is up in the last 24 years, 30,369%, is it another Cisco? Is it another Intel? Is it keeping up? Did it make a mistake? And I don't know. I do not know how many GPUs Apple has bought. And I don't know what relationship Apple has with possibly Meta or Microsoft or Amazon. I don't know if they are saying, okay, you go buy the chips, you create the processing power, and we'll pay you for it. Kind of like the agreement Google has with Apple. We'll pay you. Let's see, how does that work? Google pays Apple to make Google the primary search engine on Apple. Now, maybe Apple is doing a turnaround agreement with Google or maybe Amazon. I don't know, but it worries me that I'm not seeing Apple reaching out, or I don't read that Apple is buying a lot of GPUs and building out the data centers as Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta are. Okay, so that's what I spend my days doing, getting a better understanding of the game I play. Let's face it, that's what we're doing. We're playing a lottery, not a lottery, that's just luck, a game of chance. This is the poker table in the back of the casino where the smartest guy wins. The guy who understands the game can read the other players and walks out with his pockets full of money. Because he's playing a bunch of fools who believe that just because they were able to win in a poker tournament online, they can go to Las Vegas and do the same thing. So I want to gain an advantage by doing research and coming up with knowledge, and I want you to have this. So again, here it is on the screen, as big as I can give it to you. Stop your computer, push print screen, and then go to your printer and print it and study it and learn it Okay? I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I'm building a community. My objective is to make you a better investor. And sometimes I don't get it right. And some of you take a lot of pride in pointing that out. But trust me, I'm not here to screw you. I'm giving you my best. If my best isn't good enough with you, go away. Okay? And I don't need you calling me names. Okay? I love Taylor Swift's song. Why are you so mean? I really want you to answer that question. Why are you so mean? Why do you take pleasure in hurting other people? Kerry Grinkmeyer, I'm a retired financial advisor. I just want to make your life better. If I can do that, subscribe. If you want more insight, join and get on the bus.